I just need some time to vent, guys, because honestly, it's just horrible being a Daniel Bryan fan. And honestly, that applies to every single person on the planet because everyone loves Daniel Bryan. And just how unfair is it that finally WWE gave the fans what they want and just out of the blue, it's all gone because of a neck injury? Sucks. And I'm not going to go on some sort of tangent on why it's not fair because basically it's wrestling. Shit happens in wrestling. But this injury rubs me the wrong way. And Diesel 101 Raw, if you're watching, you took the words right out of my mouth. You said it before I could. WWE basically has blood all over their hands when it comes to Daniel Bryan's injury. They were looking for every reason not to push Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan had to basically kill himself every single night on Raw, pay-per-views, SmackDown, house shows, you name it. He had to kill himself to show that he is worthy of the main event. And the fans were behind him, and people were just so excited to see Daniel Bryan get an opportunity. WWE is not blind, and they are not deaf. No matter what they want you to think, they are not blind and they are not deaf. They see the reactions Daniel Bryan gets. They hear the reaction Daniel Bryan gets. And for some weird reason, they just go, just throw Cena out there. I know the fans hate him. I know they're tired of him. But you know what? He brings in the money. So does Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan brings in the revenue too. He is money. Daniel Bryan will forever be money. Everyone loves Daniel Bryan. And I heard those rumors that WWE is thinking about de-pushing Daniel Bryan upon return. Let me tell you something. Do you want a repeat of the Royal Rumble 2014? Where if you want to give the fans a wrestler, if you want to give one person to the fans and they're just going to completely reject you because they want Daniel Bryan, let me tell you, that whole thing is going to repeat if you de-push Daniel Bryan upon return. People are not going to forget about Daniel Bryan. I think you guys are forgetting that when Daniel Bryan got injured, he was probably the most over guy in the company. And throughout the year 2013, he was the most over guy in the company. He also won Superstar of the Year. The fans also completely rejected Batista when he gained the main event of WrestleMania spot instead of Daniel Bryan. The fans have not forgotten about Daniel Bryan, and the fans still love Daniel Bryan. They will see anything, they will do anything to get him pushed upon return. It just completely, it just, I'm flabbergasted. I am speechless. It doesn't make sense to me how WWE can just de-push Daniel Bryan when they caused the injury, and two, the fans want to see him. This is just that whole just lack of communication between the fans and the product. And you business related fans, the fans are like, oh, Daniel Bryan is not best for business. Why do you even care? You're not the one promoting WWE. You're not the ones behind the scenes. And who cares? Daniel Bryan is best for business. This isn't one of those cult followings that a superstar has, where he really doesn't have what it takes, but he just has a big following. Kind of like Zack Ryder, where, yes, he was a good US champion, and he could be a good mid-card champion, but let's face it, Zack Ryder probably would never be a world champion, despite of how big his fan base is. Daniel Bryan has all the qualities of a world champion. He is what WWE wants. Unfortunately, WWE just doesn't know that. WWE thinks that, oh, well, we want a jacked, muscular guy who looks really good. Roman Reigns fits that bill. Trust me, I love Roman Reigns just as much as the next guy. But if he gets the spot over Daniel Bryan, if Daniel Bryan is healthy come WrestleMania 31, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. Because Daniel Bryan, honestly, has been one of the most over guys, I want to say, since Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. Quote me on that. I will say that. Daniel Bryan has this uncanny ability to get every single person behind him and to get a loud reaction. You look at guys like Shawn Michaels, Jeff Hardy, Chris Jericho, even CM Punk. They got a lot of fans to cheer for them, and a majority of the fans actually, really care for them and really like them. But Daniel Bryan consistently gets the fans off their feet, chanting yes. CM Punk, he was hot for that little hot minute, and he had the crowds in the palm of his hands for a good 2-3 months upon his pipe bomb. But Daniel Bryan, throughout 2013, has been able to get every single fan off their ass, chanting yes, no matter how horrible WWE has been treating the fans, no matter how horrible the show is. Daniel Bryan, when he shows up, he is the angel descending from heaven to save us. Like, he is money. He is money, and he is what the fans want. Don't you dare think about de-pushing Daniel Bryan upon return. That is so incredibly stupid. Fans are just going to think, oh, who's that guy with the beard again? I totally forgot his name. He hasn't been wrestling for a while. Yeah, no one's going to forget him. People are going to still chant yes if you poke your fingers in the air. People are going to instantly remember Daniel Bryan and just start chanting yes till they can't chant yes anymore. WWE, if for some inexplicable reason you somehow come across this video again, please, please do not depush Daniel Bryan. The fans will do the exact same thing they did come WrestleMania 30 season. Just remember that. Just remember all the times where they hijacked Raw because they didn't like the fact that their guy wasn't getting pushed. And when Daniel Bryan comes back, in I'm speechless. I can't even fathom it. I can't even just the thought of it sickens me. The thought of it renders me speechless. How someone who is so over, someone who broke his back and broke his neck, literally, for this company just to get this one spot at WrestleMania. And it shows that WWE actually cares about him. They do care about him. They would not have given him that sort of win at WrestleMania 30 without some sort of, motivation behind it. WWE does like Daniel Bryan. I'm not saying they're anti-Daniel Bryan, but I think it's totally stupid just to de-push him and just act like that World Championship reign never happened. He won 2 matches at WrestleMania 30 to gain that World Heavyweight Championship. He defeated Kane at Extreme Rules with that World Heavyweight Championship. And you just expect the fans to forget about that? How stupid do you think the fans are? They are going to want to see that title back around Daniel Bryan's waist because they know he was unfairly stripped of it. And don't forget, the Authority are the biggest heels in WWE right now. And they were the ones responsible for stripping Daniel Bryan of the title. So the moment Daniel Bryan walks back and he's healthy and he's ready to go, the fans are going to want to see him destroy the Authority and gain those titles back, no matter what. I don't care how over Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose is. I don't care how over Cesaro is or John Cena or Randy Orton. I don't care. They are going to want to see Daniel Bryan. Now, obviously, if Daniel Bryan does get this second surgery and he's going to be on the shelf for a long time, obviously you do have to build a star for WrestleMania 31. But WWE knows top priority when Daniel Bryan will be back. And it was obvious that WWE really wanted to keep Daniel Bryan's reign alive. You saw they put it off as much as they could. They were refusing to strip Daniel Bryan until they 100% knew that Daniel Bryan would not be able to compete. I just think it's absolutely idiotic to not push Daniel Bryan when he comes back. When he comes back, fans are going to demand him to have that world title back. And I just say, you know what? Maybe give Daniel Bryan one pay-per-view match to get his groove back, and then immediately get him in the title picture. He doesn't have to win it back immediately. He doesn't have to just immediately grab it on his first day back, beat the world champion. I'm not saying that. He can even lose a match if he wants. But make sure, at the end of the day, he gets that title, and his reign continues uninterrupted. Because WWE, whether you like it or not, and you can deny it all you want, but you caused that injury. You were looking for every single reason not to push this guy, and he basically just threw that all in your face. He said there was absolutely no reason why you shouldn't push me. And they did. And they got behind him. And because of this, he has now been injured, and his reign is basically just nothing. It was just a month-long reign, and he beat Kane in an Extreme Rules match. Yippee. But the fans won't forget that. The fans aren't forgetful. The fans aren't stupid. Despite what you think, the fans are not idiots. And they will want to see Daniel Bryan with World Championship gold again.